Got a great lineup for you today. Shad Olson talks about today's political environment. We talk with Gary Coe about who's really in charge on Earth. Jeanette McIntyre says privatize education. Also, you'll hear the Revival Report, a Dr. Laura moment, and the news wrap-up. Stay tuned. Shad Olson is a good friend to conservatives in America. And Shad, what you're looking at when you see the political environment today should be a bit frightening to anybody who's watching.
I'm just astounded, Gordon, and really disheartened. And I've shared it with your viewers before that there was a recent poll that said that 44% of Americans believe that if they just give Barack Obama another term, that the economy somehow is going to turn around and everything in America is going to return to the halcyon days and of wonderful prosperity, and you know the things that we remember is the good old days.
I want to just,
to me that's horribly depressing. I don't know about you.
I want to stop everything and have you just repeat what you said. 44%.
Yes, a recent poll, and I don't remember the polling organization. It was published in USA Today, which I like to quote because many times conservative news outlets only use conservative news sources. Let's use a mainstream news source and a polling source and polling outlet that said that 44% of Americans, respondents in this poll, I believe it was 10,000 respondents, very large sample size, believe that if they re-elect Barack Obama, that sometime in the next 4 years, the economy will be better than it is today. Now, I've defined this for my listeners, and I've told your viewers the same thing. That fits Albert Einstein's definition of insanity, which is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
And we've talked a little bit about the movie 2016, Obama's America.
Yes.
And for those of you who have already seen it, you know that colonialism is the theme that runs through Barack Obama's brain. That's the dismantling of American leadership and American exceptionalism.
Gordon, everybody in America should see this movie. And it is no exaggeration to say that I believe the Obama White House is running scared at the prospect of that very thing happening. What they're interested in, and when you know anything about Barack Obama's background, what you realize is he was exposed in his home environment to an anti-colonialist viewpoint, which told him that every European, and by osmosis, every American, therefore, because America was once a European colony, every white person is interested in enslaving black people.
Yes.
And is interested in enslaving entire nations. And so Obama's mindset is forged and founded in that viewpoint that colonialism has to be defeated and rolled back, and that includes the diminution of America, which we know has been the most excellent defender of freedom and liberty around the world, but what Obama sees as a threat to human freedom because of the way he was raised and the way he was indoctrinated by his parents.
And it's a classic example of someone who is saying one thing and doing something quite different, because Obama has been very successful. You'd have to give him credit for being successful. He has been very successful at dismantling the very things that have made America great.
That is his stock, that's his stock in trade. He desperately, when he was talking about hope and change, what you and I were hearing, and so many Americans who voted for Barack Obama, we're probably talking to some of them.
That does not include you and me.
No,
by the way.
We did not vote for Barack Obama.
Just as a disclaimer we want to make here.
We need to say that 10 times a day and 20 on Sunday. But what Barack Obama meant when he said that is something far different than what I believe Americans heard. What they heard was hope for a new future and hope for a return in America to good times and prosperity and confidence in the American way. And what Barack Obama meant is a fundamental transformation of the American system to a socialist and even a communist government, and making America into something that our founding fathers never intended it to be, and the stripping of our Bill of Rights and our constitutional freedom.
And the dumbing down of American voters. And the way they do that is by disseminating misinformation by the volumes.
Yes.
If we could quantify it by pounds, it would be ton after ton after ton.
Well, I think you and I, we've grown up in places where you need shovels to remove that smelly stuff.
And it never quits coming.
Yeah, and it never stops. And literally, we'd have to use a backhoe or a skid steer loader to deal with the kinds of BS that are being put out by this administration. It absolutely frightens me, Gordon, when we look at this consequence-free environment where Obama and company believe they can lie explicitly to the American people, and they're never held accountable because
Yes.
people don't know any better.
And
That's
unfortunately,
a terrifying thing.
The unfortunate thing about that is not only that most voters don't see through that, but that the Republican leadership is following in those footsteps.
Yes.
They're saying one thing and doing something quite different.
What the Obama administration has allowed, and the liberalism in this administration, it's allowed the Republican Party to slide farther to the left than they've ever been before, and still maintain this claim that they're better and they're superior ideologically to Barack Obama just because they happen to be a shade left of socialism.
Well,
and that's a bad place to be.
Thank God for right-wing conservative lunatics like Shad Olson and Gordon Howe, who aren't afraid to just put it on the line and say, America, wake up. You are being dismantled, destroyed,
Yes.
and deceived. If you do not wake up, it may be too late.
I think 2016, I think this movie, we can only hope that it's gonna get broad range appeal and an opportunity for every American to see the truth.
Go see it.